I want you to imagine for a second that you have decided to embark on a career that has long hours and minimal pay. Then I want you to imagine that after working for years without the choice to leave, a terrible accident occurs. This incident injures you so severely that you are now disabled for the rest of your life, impacting your physical and mental well-being. This is the life that many veterans do not have to imagine and are forced to live through every day. There are countless numbers of veterans that throughout history have been tossed to the wayside after their usefulness dries up. I desire that after my presentation, you will feel sympathy for these great soldiers and realize the need for someone to rise up to the occasion and take care of those who protected us. I've heard many stories of veterans, especially from eras such as the Vietnam War, becoming homeless without proper treatment after they leave the military. This is not right. I will first attempt to portray the organization that's main goal is helping alleviate these heroes' burdens and explain why it is a great idea to donate any sum of money towards the cause. Surely, when you put yourself in their shoes, you will understand as well how deserving they are of just a little bit of help after sacrificing the best years of their lives for our country. Homelessness and poverty is a widespread problem among our protectors, and is even more rampant in the personnel that came out with scars from their time in the service. Through data collected, a researcher named Monet writes that on any given night in the USA, over 40,000 veterans sleep without a roof over their heads. Over the course of a year, twice the amount were found to have had lived homeless for longer than a month, highlighting the instability that many of these people experience. The data also found that only up to 7% of the US population can claim veteran status, but over 13% of homeless people living on the streets are ex-military. This highlights the huge disparity that people face and the large risks that they face when exiting the military that they will follow their predecessors into poverty. This alone almost doubles the chances of living in terrible conditions, simply by the occupation they picked. Monet also describes a study done on over 500,000 discharged military men and women that studied the effect of disability on their well-being. Over 50% of homeless veterans are medically disabled. This, in stark contrast to the 31% of veterans who claim to be disabled, showing how coming up out of the military with an injury significantly increases your chances of falling off your horse. Now compounded with the double chances of losing your home just by entering the military, if you experience any type of injury in the military, you increase your chances by almost 300%. Is this how we want to treat our protectors of democracy? The only thing keeping our society safe and secure? I say no. Homes for Our Troops does a superb job at creating homes for disabled veterans in need. They have a high rate of using the money given to them towards where it is intended to be used. According to the organization director Lopez, 90 cents of every dollar given can be confirmed to be used in the direct building and materializing of houses for veterans. This means that as a donator, you can feel safe knowing the funds aren't used for morally questionable avenues that other charities might be more inclined to spend on, such as salaries and business expenses. HFOT does not just provide the ex-military personnel with a house, but gives them the tools to make sure they can succeed in keeping it up and running. Again, Lopez states that their organization includes a pro bono 3-year financial planner. This means that they can be guaranteed financial guidance on how to plan for the future and budgeting to ensure the house stays in order. This differs from other organizations that will do a one-and-done system, in which they provide a product for the targeted person, but fail to help them actually succeed when it comes to being able to live their life. The charity also offers resources such as support groups and connections to other like-minded folks. This can restart someone's life, as often the reason people, especially in the military, struggle with life after is they no longer have the support system set in place that they had before. Finally, this charity has a vast history of helping post-9/11 veterans aspire to their goals of home ownership. HFOT has created 400 homes personally tailored towards the needs of each individual. Not only are these homes great assets for the veterans and their families, but they are specialized for the disabled person's specific needs. This saves them hundreds of thousands of dollars they would otherwise have to spend on equipment, such as railings, bathtubs, showers, everything essential for these physically disabled heroes. They clearly have a good purpose, but can they hold up to these promises? The answer is yes. Homes for Our Troops is one of the best charities out there, according to external third parties, giving a huge degree of trust in the way they operate. One of the main charity reviewers, Charity Navigator, gives a raving review of HFOT. According to Green, they conduct a thorough evaluation of the companies and give HFOT a 4-star review, which is the highest possible rating. This means that there are no signs of fraud or waste in the company, so you can rest easy knowing that they are trustworthy. Out of a more rigorous test that checks for planning, development, data collection and reporting, and use of results, they score a 99 out of 100, which is the highest score possible according to the site. In each category, they describe how professional this charity is and how they are essentially a gold standard for how a nonprofit organization should conduct business. A person should not just trust one source though, which is why it is important to mention that another major charity review agency, Charity Watch, gives a glowing review for Homes for Our Troops. Fuller gives a more logistical explanation behind their A rating of the charity, which is the highest rating they can get. It on average only costs $7 to raise $100 worth of proceeds, showing the efficiency and the amount others believe in this ideal. They received over $12 million last year, which provides security knowing how many other people believe that this charity is offering an amazing service. While all this information is great to know, there are plenty of other charity organizations that are just as ethical, help those in need, and pass all the hurdles. But the question must be asked, why should you spend your hard-earned money on this specific agency? Listen to the story of Michael Boucher, a veteran who was severely impacted by his service in the military. Michael joined the Marines with the desire to serve his country and protect his family, where he toured Afghanistan twice. During his second tour in 2011, a landmine severely injured him, intensely losing the loss of both of his legs. This led to, after his discharge, life becoming increasingly difficult as he had to learn how to live all over again in a world not designed for himself. Everything seemed hopeless, as he described, until he became a HFOT recipient in 2013. Now he is married and a father of 3 beautiful children. He contributes a majority of his success to the kind hearts of others willing to help him in his dark times. Simply put, HFOT gives veterans the ability to jumpstart their lives in ways they never thought possible. In conclusion, now I understand if you do not have the financial means to help HFOT, but if you have anything you were considering donating, I would heavily emphasize giving to help people like Michael, because he lost everything to ensure you have the freedom you have today. Think of yourself in that situation again. What would you want? And if you do not serve to protect your country, how are you giving back to those who did? I hope to join the military one day, and it certainly is a fear that I may be changed irreparably. But knowing that there are people out there who will take care of me no matter what encourages me to take that brave step of sacrifice.